in the Darley Flying Start program. They have also come up with some solutions. What we're going to do is I'm going to read you the solutions that they have come up with. We're going to take about a 10-minute break, go back upstairs, have a drink, please interact, offer your thoughts. We're going to come back and discuss these solutions that they've already put up. These are the stakeholders giving you other stakeholders their solutions. And here are their following solutions. Talking about the race day experience, our 12 came up with these. Establish a national body to evaluate racetrack facilities for owners, fans, and horses, leading to a National League table of U.S. racetracks to encourage improved on-track facilities for all participants. Their other proposal, free online past performance information. Anybody here from the Racing Forum? Trackus technology, standard for all tracks. Reduce the standard bet to $1. Overhaul the U.S. parimutuel legislation. That's the proposal for the race day experience. Their proposals now for marketing and ownership. Number one, have a central marketing body to encourage young people's interest in the sport via social media. For some of you, that would mean like Facebook. It's out there on the internet, look it up. Second, establish a scheme to attract and retain owners and educate the public on the positives of the racing industry. 3, get broader coverage of racing on TV. Number 4, require trainers and jockeys to participate in media training to make them more accessible. That's the best one. And a national licensing of bloodstock agents with penalties for those who are proven to act unethically. My restraint was impressive on that one, wasn't it? Horse safety, welfare, and public perception. Number 1, ban race day medication. Number 2, ban the use of whip. Number 3, impose a levy on breeders, owners, trainers, and racetracks to fund racehorse retirement. And finally, structure of racing. They have 2 major solutions for this. 1, establish a national racing commission and appoint a commissioner. And 2, a national uniform licensing of owners, trainers, and jockeys. So there are the 4 topics and the 15 solutions that this panel of 12 have come up with. They certainly appreciate your input and questions. We're going to break for about 10, 15 minutes, get a drink, catch a breath. Please talk to them. We'll come back and finish up discussing these issues. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it. In my reference. Oh, you don't take my notes.
I'm not sure if that should happen now. I guess we just got to keep winging it.
Say what?
So I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen now, but I guess
What?
it's just weird. No, because like I said, the structure
What are you
changes.
doing with my notes?
Oh yeah.
Every time we sit down, it's like,
What time?
Were they on my table?
It's gotta be like 8:30.
so you know.
So you
Yeah, it's 8:30,
We only have a half an hour. We're supposed to start this like an hour ago.
No, yeah, there's no way it's going to happen.
Geez, well done, you played the blinder.
I guess we've kind of dealt with that communication.
Like, it's like, I think it's on
Huh?
I guess we've actually dealt with some of the problems already.
but you're working as a team on this.
Yeah.
Trying to get short
Okay,
space, otherwise.
I think what I meant to say, which didn't
Well,
really come out that way. I think what it. No, I think what I meant to say is simply
Yeah, Matt.
if
We
have
put us so much, we straight up too much. What if the whole and
other
the Sunday
racing,
Sun
which
thing
the
again?
Saratoga thing I don't really understand because like
So yeah, go ask me. I think we did it.
No, I read
The what if those Sunday Suns on the turn thing? Yeah, just the whole thing.
that was all past.
because I think
Well,
when
the first time he couldn't really
show
show it.
it, they
He's
know
not sure.
without telling them.
He's not
but
sure
then
what she
it's
was
like,
saying.
oh, that's great.
It's the only right Sunday.
But are they paying that for like 2 years?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have
read
if we
well,
want more racing. Like national. That's kind of cool.
Well,
Before, because right now there's like incentive to TV channels that aren't sponsored, right? Because they don't do that kind of finances.
Well, see, there is no incentive because they don't get money off gambling unless they're
Welcome back. Did you enjoy talking with these Darley Flying Start students? Quite an all-star group we certainly have. As I mentioned just before our break, and I'm sure you've discussed this with them, talking about finding solutions. They have found the solutions. They have made their statements, and we'll review them, starting with the race day experience. Now, after they make their point of why this is going to work, this is the solution, as their part of the stake, you as the rest of the stakeholders, if you have a quick comment or an observation, please raise your hand. And then at the very end of it, does everyone have their paddle that will either be red or green? Thanks, Barry. And we're going to have a vote. Obviously, green is the thumbs up. Red would be the equivalent of the thumbs down. All 12 of you back? Right? Okay. Welcome. It's always good to have a liquored up audience, so there's no pressure now. I would look at 2 or 3 especially. I noticed they never left the bar, but you know who they are. Okay, the first one. Establish a national body to evaluate racetrack facilities for owners, fans, horses, leading to a National League table of U.S. racetracks to encourage improved on-track facilities for all participants. Which one of you came up with that idea? Whose idea was that? Whose solution? One or more of you? Jump in. Leah, you were nodding the quickest.
Sure. From a trainer's perspective, it's very important for your owners to get out there and enjoy their race day festivities, to really make it a big deal to the owners to see their horses run. And so it's important that the facilities of racetracks are, basically encourage that are fun for owners. They can have a great experience. They can bring their friends. They can bring other people that can be brought into the sport, learn to appreciate it, and even bring in future owners, bring in more business to you as to the trainers, and promote the sport from that respect. So it's very important to have these, have great facilities where owners can make a big celebration of their horses running.
From an owner's point of view, the current situation with the facilities in America, I feel, are quite substandard. It'll take, I don't really want to use this as an example, but I will use it as Turfway Park. I know one of the owners, shareholders are sitting in the crowd here. But my experience at Turfway Park in the middle of January would have to be the most awful race meeting I've ever been to. There's a better atmosphere going to a meeting in Hobart, Tasmania in the middle of July, and there's snow on the mountain, sleeting rain, and you're standing there in your gumboots and your swan dry on. Why would I personally take a group of owners or clients or a group of friends to go and look at my horse run at a place where you have to pay overpriced beer, overpriced hot dogs? The place is falling apart, it's rusting away. It's for another, take what happened at Churchill, the so-called windstorm that took out half the stables 2 weeks ago. It's hopefully to establish a board that go around and just evaluate all the racetrack facilities to say, well, yes, there needs funding to Turfway Park, for example, to Beulah Park, to Laurel, to Baltimore. Baltimore is another example. When we went up to the Preakness, it was like stepping back in time to the 1950s with the ancient totalizer machines, the wood flooring in the grandstand. We're in the 21st century. There's internet around us, and it was an experience within itself just to witness that. But hopefully to bring around a a national board to go around and just evaluate each of them and just pull some OH&S issues to just bring them back into line and just to try and generate new people to go there and feel the experience, feel the life, feel the fun of just going back to the races. Because horse racing is the biggest leveler of a demographic. He can be Sheikh Mohammed, or he can be the guy putting the seats in the Toyota plant over at Georgetown. They all have one common denominator. They all own a racehorse.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, top that.
Yeah, I know. I'll try to keep this
If
one
I do-
really short.
If I do
if
anything
possible.
tonight, I'm bringing Nicholas out of his shell. If there's one thing I'm going to do tonight.
Yeah, I won't say too much more on top of that, but just from the NTRA's side, which is kind of good news, I would think, as a starting point to, to getting uniformity amongst the racetracks. And the NTRA has basically implemented the NTRA accreditation program for racetracks, where they're currently, the accreditation, they go to racetracks and basically make them have to sign this agreement, which sets standards for medication testing, procedures to do with the safety and health of jockeys, security on track, retirement of racehorses, safety equipment, etc., etc. And like this, I believe, is a good start, at least, in sort of getting some sort of standard that we need, that we are demanding of racetracks to be set at, and will also give the public perception that at least racing is doing something to improve the racetrack facilities and the standard of racetracks nationwide.
From the breeder's perspective, it's not only the racetrack facilities that need improvement, it's also the full race day experience. There are many new ideas coming into racetracks, such as the Friday night racing and stuff like that, which bring a lot of fans in. But what I found is particularly with the Kentucky Derby Festival, there's sometimes an awful lull between races, and I found this particularly at the Churchill and Kentucky Derby Day, whereas on Arc Day at Longchamp there's a lot of activity going on around the races themselves, and it creates a very enjoyable day for the fans. There's fashion shows, fancy cars, a whole host of different activities, whereas when it was Derby Day there was very little else going on bar the racing, and then there was almost an hour between each race, which kept everything kind of fell, and the whole lull and the whole atmosphere fell between races.